What parallels, what differences do you see?
I think what you see as a parallel is, people who appear to be fundamentally lost.
Yeah.
You see, again, the Dallas shooting, the more we learn about this guy, can't hold down a job. The people who, interacted with him just said there was something deeply off. And I honestly think those quotes that you're seeing about that shooter, you could exchange them with any high school shooter that we've seen in recent years. And so there's something going on where the person is so lost that they believe that this is kind of the thing to do. We're also seeing that these shooters are noticing other events that are also shootings. So they're sometimes looking up other people who've become essentially infamous for doing this. These are people whose names we would never have heard of otherwise, and they kind of go out in this blaze of violence, and suddenly we are aware of their existence. Again, we can never fathom what is happening inside these people's minds. Obviously, something is incredibly disturbed, but there's something where they are, kind of lost. No one knows who they are. No one maybe even notices them, and they suddenly do this thing that demands attention. And we've seen that with the shootings at schools as well.
And Jia-Lyn, it also puts an additional onus on law enforcement, I imagine, because if it were as simple as some of the politicians are seeking to make it, that it's coming from this direction, no, it's coming from this direction, and it's organized and so forth, if it were that, then law enforcement could infiltrate whomever the perpetrator or their group might be. But how do you know who's going to be next if the origin is an individual with despair?
This part seems terrifying to me, honestly. This is not the Weather Underground. This is not the KKK, right? These are not people who are showing up at meetings. They're not participating in political campaigns. And suddenly they burst into view. And I think you're right. If you're at the FBI and you're trying to prevent the next one, I'm not entirely sure where you would begin.